We do have a super chat before we can go on to all the other stuff that we have on our itinerary. Let's take Sankalp Verma's question, who is asking, how much is the complacency that you mentioned with broadcasting point with the BCCI the problem with Indian cricket in general? Watching a match at the stadium is just horrible experience, yet they're full. I mean, it's a cricket mad country. It's a religion in that country, so they maybe even kind of take that for granted. I feel.
Yeah, I think if you're not, if you as a cricket board, you're not actually being tested by anyone, why would you get any better? And if you want to look at that, look how slow cricket developed, Sankalp, before free market capitalism came in, right?
Yeah.
There was no, whoever ran cricket just ran it the way they wanted. There's a great conversation. I can't remember the full details, but in New Zealand, they had like an elephant come out onto the ground or something during the 92 World Cup. And the other cricket boards were like, why are you doing this? And New Zealand were like, well, we want to give a really fun experience to people who come to the ground. It hadn't occurred to other cricket boards to try and make going to a cricket ground a fun experience, right? The cricket is there. You will enjoy the cricket, or you will go home and you'll be disappointed. So I think that there's always been an element of that in cricket, and certainly within Indian cricket, that is a problem. My guess is I don't think I've ever been to another sporting event in India, but I've been to a football match in Sri Lanka, and I can tell you the cricket stadium's better than the football stadium. So, do you know what I mean? Like, it is there. Until the crowd kind of rise up and complain, and that's probably not going to happen because you're going to get full houses anyway. So, look, it's an issue, but it is what it is, I suppose.
I don't think it's the problem, and broadcasting, for whatever it's worth, is still going to be watched by millions, regardless of how well you put it out or make that content. But in terms of viewing experience from the stadia, now I have a bunch of Indian friends who will retweet posts on Twitter in which I'll see someone who's bought a ticket to the game, and they have a giant pillar right in front of them, so they can't really watch the game. So I feel like India, ever since the IPL boom, they invested all of this money into infrastructure, but they did not kind of think from the perspective of a fan whilst building those stadiums, and where a seat would make sense, where a seat would not make sense.
Yeah, I would say outside of England and Australia, maybe New Zealand, although some of those grounds are so small that, but there's a lot of bad cricket stadiums that if you look at them, you're like, this design doesn't make sense, and how you're using the space, and the seats don't make sense, and there's no cover, there's no shade for what would need to have shade for us. If you're going to sit in the sun for 7 hours, you need some kind of shade, and just, there aren't enough toilets. I can't remember so many times in my life I've been to a cricket match where the queue for the women's toilet is like a kilometer long, right? And if you've got a woman that you go to cricket with regularly, you know that if there's a big crowd, if she says she's going to the toilet, you may not see her for a while, right? There are major issues, and I think cricket stadiums are behind. UK ones have slowly started to get better. I still don't think they are that brilliant, but they've certainly started to get a lot better. Australian stadiums are great, but they're not cricket stadiums. They're all sports stadiums, and they've got a lot more money.
And concert venues and stuff like that, right? They're huge.
So there is an element of that when it comes to the Australian stadiums being so good.
Their modern-day coliseums are what they are.
Yeah. So it is a little bit different, but yeah, I think it's a problem I travel around the world. Trust me, this is not an Indian issue. There's some shit stadiums in lots of places in the world. I tell you what, Pisara was holding test matches not that long ago. I love Pisara, but it's a stupid place to play a test match. It looked like a club ground.
I mean, this reminds me of a fun anecdote. It's somewhat related, not entirely related, but I was in England to watch the 2019 World Cup, and first game or second game, I can't remember, because I think Lord's was fairly easy to go to the toilet or whatever. But at Edgbaston, I think I went out and there was this massive queue. And I was like, holy shit, like, how am I ever going to get to pee? And the
holy shit.
Going to be done. Yeah, but then
that was the problem. So many holy shits going on in there.
Here's the interesting. I saw one person go in and just come out, and I was like, hey, wait a second. How does the line exist or queue exist? And this guy just went in and out. I went inside, and because it was a Pakistan game, no one was using the wall urinal. So I used the wall urinal, and I was like, oh, hell yes. And there was also a similar experience at the bar, Jarrod, in all Pakistan games. Let's just say Pakistan versus Afghanistan was a great day for Behram. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, no, I mean, I know it sounds silly, but just to go back to that question, when you talk to cricket officials, there are things where they still kind of get wrong at some of those
Yeah.
grounds. So I can't remember which one it was, but I was talking to someone from the ICC, and I can't remember which World Cup it was I was at, but they'd ordered just a bunch of alcohol for a game that was like Afghanistan versus Pakistan or Bangladesh versus Pakistan or something, right? And you and I both know that there are Western kids, and sometimes not even Western kids, kids from those
Yeah,
countries
yeah.
who go outside. And they're like, "Now I can drink. My parents can't stop me," right? But there's a big difference between that and people who drink all the time and naturally drink at those grounds. So, those sorts of things happen all the time. So if they're getting that wrong, you can see why the stadiums aren't particularly right. But I would say that there isn't really someone who's known as a great, designer of stadiums. So, for instance, we know that Wankhede has been copied, once or twice, because it's probably one of the few really, not Wankhede, Wanderers. And that's why Wankhede is very similar to the Wanderers. Because we don't have many great cricket ground designs. The England designs don't make any sense. Don't get me wrong with
Headingley is terrible.
If
Actually.
you think Headingley's bad, Trent Bridge, they just
haven't
cut
been.
off half the boundary because they wanted a bigger stand there, right? Like, there's so many weird things about English cricket design, right? And then Australian cricket design is essentially set up for these humongous crowds, which usually more often go to Aussie rules. So even in the grounds that get it right, it isn't always set up. So I do think there is a big issue with the way that cricket looks after its fans, but partly because there isn't an industry. If you think football stadiums, like if you're great at designing football stadiums in Brazil or, I don't know, Argentina or Africa, you're probably going to get bunches of jobs everywhere else around the world to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Whereas most cricket stadiums are probably developed by people who are not specialist cricket designing cricket stadiums.
I mean, we were sitting, it was the Pakistan-Afghanistan game in the 2019 World Cup at that refurbished new stand at Headingley. And it was just like so high up that we were like, it feels kind of weird watching cricket from this angle. So
No,
luckily
you're talking to the
enough,
wrong person here. You can't say that to someone who grew up in the MCG because there ain't nothing high in Headingley compared to the MCG.
enough.
I always take my friends when they come to me the first time to the very top of the MCG just to make them feel uncomfortable.
But well, it kind of worked out for us because at Headingley, right next to the bar, which was empty in Pakistan, Afghanistan, they have a few chairs. So we kind of all just went and sat there. It was a great game. It was a nail biter as well. But anyway, let's come back to the topic at hand.